Show produced by the countdown. Noella Carniale just gave us Showbiz this week. Right about now, we're about to delve straight into our conversation. Show is definitely powered by Joy Entertainment, larger in charge, and proudly brought to you by Ghana's most reliable mobile telecommunications network. That's MTN everywhere you go. And also from High Five Chocomo, that's the new normal. Domestic tourism, the game changer and social enabler, is Ghana with touring. The site with CN. The site's well managed. We're just about to delve into that convo. We've been joined by my man Gideon Asari, CEO of Adansi Travels, Ashford Samuel Bani Benso, Chairman of Tour Guides Association of Ghana, would also be joining us. Jones Aruna Nelson, Director of Corporate Affairs, Ghana Tourism Authority, is also here with us. Plus, we've got Uncle Kennedy. Sadiq Abdullah Abu is also here with us in the studio. Let me just welcome my panel members. Good afternoon, everyone. How we all doing?
Good afternoon.
Uncle Ken,
Yeah.
you came very early, like as always. I mean, it's not like it's new.
I'm glad you have told.
How was your week?
Cool.
How have you been? Family good?
Yeah, everybody's good. I've been looking forward to the football, and now it's started.
Yes, Italy started on a flying note, eh?
But, George,
Yes,
very
Uncle Ken.
quickly.
Yes.
As I sat here, I got an alert.
Okay. Somebody sent you Momo.
In actual fact, that's what I thought it was. but it wasn't Momo. It was from a bank, though.
Okay.
I won't mention the bank. And the message was, "Dear valued customer, to serve you better, our digital services will be unavailable on Sunday, June 13th from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. We apologize for the inconvenience." And I was musing over the statement, and I said, let me ask George Quaye. He's the communications expert. If you are offering me a service and you are going to do something to better it, is that the best way to couch it?
That's what you call noise. It's an interference in the communication, and noise can come in the way the communication itself is couched. I'm sure what they're trying to say is that to give you better services,
Exactly.
they are suspending this so they can do some maintenance work or something like that.
Yeah.
But whoever couched it, of course, was probably ahead of him or herself and did not really. I don't think they read over it, because it doesn't make sense. Yeah. If you're serving me better by frustrating me, because if the services are not working, it's frustration.
You cannot tell me that to serve me better, you frustrate me.
So yeah, that piece of communication, has some noise in there. Anyway, Sadiq, how you doing?
I'm good, George. I'm fine.
How's your week?
I was good.
Yeah, let's congratulate Uncle Rex Oban, eh?
Yes. One more
What
time.
has happened?
Oh, Uncle Rex
His
Oban's
second daughter
got married
okay.
yesterday.
Yeah. Congratulations. Right?
Yes,
So
my
he
apologies,
says he
I
has
couldn't
one
be
more
there.
to go.
That's good. How's Ajia?
Oh, she's fine.
Her car is still waiting.
We will come. That one, we will talk about that.
We will talk about Jones. How are you?
Hello, bro. I'm fine. Oh.
Welcome to Joy 99.7 FM.
Thank you very much.
This is your first time on Showbiz A to Z?
Sure.
Oh, how? Why? Where have you been?
I've been on other platforms, but not on this one. Yeah.
You should.
I'm glad to be here.
Because, this is the only entertainment show in Ghana the president listens to.
Don't worry at all.
Yeah.
We've taken off. So
Because
we just began.
if you watch the predictions that we do here, from nominations of, personnel to the ministries of tourism and all the suggestions that come from here, the president listens and they implement. Even opening cinemas.
Charlie,
You understand?
you just gave Philip one more reason to demand for extra pay.
I swear.
Oh my God.
So this is a one.
Yeah. Allah.
Charlie,
Gideon,
George.
you've caused trouble in Labadi. Philip has engaged 4 tailors to sew shirts for him because it says you are taking him to Maldives.
plus photo shoots and all.
I swear.
I saw the photo shoot.
You've seen it there? Charlie, it's not easy.
Charlie, what kind of meat styles do you have in Well, I'm just asking.
Oh, no. He ordered fish already.
Oh, fish.
When you go to Labadi, they have something they call mangbing. You know, that one, you don't need to refrigerate or do anything to it. Yeah, the guy has ordered a pack of mangbing with Gary.
Do they have the kind of fish my friend likes?
Oh, don't
The
worry.
kind of meat my friend likes.
Oh, I said the man is taking mangbing. You say
Which
it.
one are you talking
Oh,
about?
you're
I'm
talking
talking
about
about my
that other.
What's this?
That one. Yeah. We'll discuss it another day. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you.
All right, beautiful. Jones, let me start straight with you. I mean, congratulations on the launch of the domestic tourism drive. I think it was in order. I mean, what is the entire idea of launching a domestic tourism drive? Haven't we been driving domestic tourism all these years?
Sure. Thank you very much. It is a laudable idea. The whole campaign is to encourage Ghanaians to travel, make a conscious and a collaborative effort. You realize that tourism is challenged by two main factors: lack of discretionary income, lack of discretionary time. And if you look at Ghana, for instance, it is not part of our culture. Plan a holiday, take a trip, unless, of course, we are going for funeral parties and anniversaries and all that. So we, as an authority, mandated to market and promote Ghana domestically and internationally. We are making a conscious effort to encourage Ghanaians to travel and see our sites and attractions. So the campaign is actually domestic and regional tourism campaign. By regional tourism, I'm talking about our neighbors in Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, encouraging them to come on board and come and see our attractions here. So we launched this campaign to actually highlight the fact that we must make a conscious effort to travel. I remember when I was young, we were taking tours and all that. Now the situation has changed. We are playing with our phones. We are not engaging in extracurricular activities and all that. When you do that, it limits the social cohesion. The other time we were discussing about these theme parks and all that. We realized that it's important.
Interesting. Very interesting. And we had some 100 million, is it dollars or cedis?
100 million Ghana cedi under the Ghana Cares project. Yes.
Okay. Let's take it easy.
Sure.
So, for this domestic tourism drive that was launched about 2 weeks ago,
Sure.
100 million Ghana cedis was allocated to this domestic tourism drive. Is that what it is?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
We have launched the campaign to champion domestic tourism, domestic and regional tourism. In fact, I'll give credit to the President of the Republic, my Honorable Minister, and then my boss, Mr. Kwesi Ajiman. The 100 million cedi is to revamp the tourism industry. It is an additional budget allocation. So it goes into capacity building in terms of training and all that in the hospitality industry. It also goes into infrastructure. And then it goes into assets management, and then it also goes into branding and marketing of Ghana.
So wait,
Yes.
it is an incremental budget.
Sure.
What was the initial budget that you want to request an extra 100 million for?
If you look at all the sectors, let me go back a bit. If you look at all the sectors, we have not had enough allocation to the tourism industry because we have, I think, currently about 14 agencies. And if we are allocated an amount, I don't know the actual figure for now. It's sharing it across board. Of course, some will have bigger than the other. It doesn't reach the expected, things that we want to do. Yeah, sure.
I understand you totally.
Yes.
But you've just agreed that the 100 million is an incremental budget.
Yes.
It presupposes that there was already a budget.
Sure.
Now, that budget, was it not supposed to do the same things the 100 million is doing? Capacity building, improvement of tourism sites and all those things?
Yes, so many things come into play. So we needed a top-up to do that.
How much was the initial?
That I'm saying that I cannot.
No, that
tell
one
for-
you don't
yes,
want to be
for
able
now.
to, you are unable
Yes.
to go into for
Sure.
now. That's very interesting. Very, very, very interesting.
But it is a public information. What I mean is I don't have the figures.
You don't have the
here.
figures here.
Sure.
Okay,
sure.
no problem. All right, I'm not going to be the only one who's going to be having this conversation because we
Sure.
don't have a lot of time today. I'll quickly bring my panel into the conversation. Sadiq and
Yes.
Gideon, you're all here. Uncle Ken, you're all here. Sadiq, let me start with you. So the domestic tourism drive was launched. I don't know if you watched the event or you were at the event. I was at the event.
Yes.
Yes. I don't know if you followed
I
it.
followed it.
Yeah.
And I think that I've been keeping my tabs on it from last week when the buses were launched as well. And so I think that it's a good thing. It's a good thing to encourage domestic tourism. Within the last 1 year, we all have come to terms with the fact that travel had been restricted in a way, or I mean, massively due to COVID. And so it's important that if you realize that there's a certain appreciation in people moving about internally, you just have to, find a way to encourage it and ensure that a lot more people beyond those that have started already are. It's also instructive to note that if you speak to a number of some of the hotels away from Accra, like Blue Moon and even Safari Valley and co, they will tell you that during the heady days of the lockdown, they may have experienced a certain level of appreciation in terms of the visitors or people coming to them. And so, and obviously it was also because these are people that were in country, so it's important that once the states have recognized that and seen it, we find a way to encourage people locally to travel as much as possible. And so I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing to encourage that. The overall benefits of it to the value chain will be very good. Obviously, if the global market opens up and people are able to travel again, it will be an added benefit to it. So I think it's a good thing.
Gideon, I mean, you have played in this tourism space for a very, very long time, and you're still in there. In fact, you are organizing is it Power of Eight? How many local destinations are you looking at for this Power of Eight thing?
Yeah, so we also felt that it's good to use this our Power of Eight to also boost the domestic tourism. So we have actually started. We started with like a text to see how Ghanaians will react, and one of the key things we did that like a stimulus was to see if even in Accra, will Ghanaians who live in Accra want to explore Accra, taking away the budget constraint. Would they want to explore? So we came out with what we call Power of Eight Accra City and Night Tour, which we started 3 weeks ago, and we put a charge of just 8 cities, 8 Ghana cities to it. And one is it was a way for us to also say thank you to people who want to just taste our service and all that. And we were surprised with the reaction, because just exploring Accra for people who actually live in Accra, and 8 cities mean budget was not a problem. And so we had so many people who expressed interest, and then we had a trip. After the trip, we took the views, and people were amazed to see certain things, even though they drive through every day to
that
work.
They hadn't noticed.
They hadn't noticed, and they were really surprised they could enjoy themselves in Accra, and tour and see certain tourist sites around. We did day, we did night for a couple of people. So far, I would say about close to 80 people have really had that enjoyment.
Accra is usually not a problem. I want to know which other places in Ghana were you considering for that?
So it's the Accra thing was just to tell you that when we say domestic tourism, it doesn't really mean that you have to always
get out of
yes, just to tell you.
Yes.
So it doesn't really mean that if you don't have the budget to go to the north, to go to the west, to go to the central, you can't really be part of it. You can be part of it just within your surroundings. Beyond that, we have the Keita experience coming up, which Volta region is also a very key region when it comes to domestic tourism in Ghana. So we start from Sogakope, and we do a stop at maybe Sogakope Beach Resort, and then we continue to Keita. There's a beautiful lighthouse there, which is very, very, when you climb up there, the view is so amazing. So we have that view. We spend some night at Early Beach and any other beach resort that are around. In the evening, the interesting thing is where we have this bobobo dance, where the locals come around, and we have this bonfire, and you see people culture display, and some people who even come from the region and probably live in Accra for a long time and have lost touch of how the bobo dances really are so enthused And for some of us who don't even haven't had the experience, I mean, the last time we had similar trade was amazing.
Hold on. So the experience is definitely super because you put a lot of effort into it. Now, for a tour practitioner like yourself, what are some of the challenges you encounter embarking on domestic tourism?
I think the first thing is costs. Putting the cost structure together. You wanna do a price point where people can really afford. And what happens is that before you come out with a package, you have to estimate a certain number. So let's say I plan to do a trip for 50 people. Use 50 for your calculations. Now, one of the challenge is to be able to reach a price point where the people can afford, so that you'll be able to get the number that you have estimated. And the costs come from the components you are putting together. And one of the key costs is the hotel. So the hotel accommodation in Ghana is very, very high. We've had this discussion here before.
Yes, we
so
have.
it's one of the constraints. And then the transports. The buses, they have, most of them have no idea about tourism. It's just moving you from one place to the other.
another.
Some end up even stealing some of your guest phones, and I mean,
Oh,
you
really?
have, it's bad
Wow.
because so is and it's, I think it's the reason why this launching of domestic tourism kind of thing, if there's more media engagement for people to realize that, look, if I move from Accra to maybe central region and I'm at your place, I'm a tourist, and if I'm a tourist, you are not to take advantage of me but to express courtesy. So these challenges of people really understand that there's impact of and helping the community or helping you when the people come instead of taking advantage of the
That-
So the cost, and then I mean,
The cost, the transportation, and
people to
then getting
also-
people to understand and appreciate the worth of a tourist in your space.
Exactly.
These are some of the
These are
challenges
some of
for
the
you.
challenges
Let me
that
bring Uncle Kennedy into the conversation. Uncle Kennedy, I don't know if you also follow the domestic tourism launch.
Yes, I actually read about it. you
Yes.
know.
Now, early on in the week, I had the opportunity to speak at UNESCO and then National Commission on Culture event, and it was a dialogue that was held at the Ghana Association of Arts and Sciences. And I opined in my presentation that, look, all these presentations, that all these incentives that we keep giving to the tourism space, what about media? And I'll let you speak to that as well. I just want to pick Uncle Ken's thoughts on that one. Jones, I'll let you speak to that. And listeners, for those who do not know, Jones is Director of Corporate Affairs at the Ghana Tourism Authority, right?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So, Uncle Ken, my point was this. So, for instance, 100 million cedis has been allocated to promote domestic tourism. Here we are, sitting on Joy 99.7 FM, promoting domestic tourism. Nobody has given a peswa to Joy FM to do this. Nobody. Maybe the company finds it or deems it a corporate social responsibility. It might interest you to know that a lot of people that are listening, or a lot of other entertainment shows that are probably running around that this time, some may be talking about some beef between some two artists. Some may be talking about some actress with a huge bum or backside or huge breasts, and some may be talking about all manner of things that will not bring any significance or growth to the industry. But that is their choice. But at the end of the day, they will tell you it's about numbers. I have to get paid. I need to get people to listen to my show, so I have to offer what people may be interested in. They would say discussions like this one are pretty boring. So don't you think that if the ministry or if government allocated some sort of incentive, some funding to media houses that purposely focus on helping drive the domestic tourism agenda, it would be to their benefit at the end of the day, instead of always pushing everything into tourism?
George,
Oh my God.
you know, it's good.
Jones.
Jones is here.
Yeah.
Yes.
In this country, immediately we hear of a sum of money being given to a sector we are affiliated to in some
We're
way.
just discussing it.
Everybody would want a bite of it. Everybody would want a bite of it. So it's not a bad pitch that you're making this afternoon to Jones. I would say to him to take it back to his superiors and let them make sure that this is also penciled in as part of activities towards the promotion of local tourism, because the media plays an important role.
Very key.
So thank you for bringing it up, and I'm sure Jones will take it with him back to his people, because it is very important. You know, what you've just said is very, very important. I just like the idea of this domestic tourism push. But George, what worries me is this is not the first time we're talking about domestic tourism
No, it isn't.
in this country.
No, it's not.
Oh, God. We've been talking domestic tourism
Yeah.
for yonks.
Yeah.
And it's always the policy, the addresses, the launches, you know, the fanfare, and then shrimp,
The talk shop.
nothing happens. And after 5 years, we come back and raise the same issue once again. So as for me, I'm always on the positive side of things in life.
Yes.
I do not like dwelling on negativity.
Exactly.
Because it doesn't help in any way, you know. So I will just hope that what they have enumerated as projects to be undertaken under the incentive, we actually do see these things done, so that everybody would want to take part in visiting places, even in Accra, like Gideon just said. Even if it's Accra, I mean, there's so many things on the outskirts of Accra, so many places that you can go on an adventure to, you know, but people don't know. And then the prices of those places, you know, these are the sort of things to be taken into consideration, because I know of a lot of people who would love to visit. I have a lady friend on Facebook that I admire so much. She uses social media as a tool for her promotion of tourism. A young lady, very pretty young lady by name Majwa Yeboah, you know. And she uses social media in attracting people, and she gets groups of about 8, 10, 12, 15, and then they go on an adventure to a particular place over a weekend and things like that. I mean, that's all part of it, you know, to get people to get interested in these things. The schools, the clubs in the schools, tourism clubs to be formed in schools, so that the kids from a tender age
That's right.
get into this habit of wanting to go on tours. You know, the habit of excursions has
Excursions,
dwindled.
yeah, exactly.
You know, back in the day, you going on an excursion, it's one of the most, you know, interesting things to look forward to, you know. So I think that if monies will be pumped into forming youth groups in the schools as well, so that they can start off by, you know, organizing these excursions in school. By the time they come out, you know, they've formed the habit of tourism.
Exactly.
And they spread the news.
Yeah,
George-
yes, Adik.
So I wanted to find out, this 100 million that we're talking about, is it 100 million that has been earmarked to enable just domestic tourism, or it's actually a budget to the ministry, the total budget to the ministry and its 14 agencies?
Yes, so Jones.
Thank you very much. We had an initial allocation already, but
Exactly.
this is an additional budget allocation to the Ministry of Tourism to be able to enable it
Pursue its programs.
pursue its programs, i.e., seeding a few to the
It's not
industries.
for
And but
domestic tourism.
the story came out that 100 million
For
allocated
domestic
for
tourism.
the years. So that was the twist. But actually, like you are saying, we do our training and all that. But this one is not for domestic tourism. It is to add up to the ministry to be able to get some for its agencies and perform our activities. Of course, we have been doing branding and all that, strategy and all that. But some will go into training, the 100 million, into training, capacity building, those things. That's what I mean. If you look at the project that is ongoing,
This has been my challenge.
i.e. Tetekwashi and all those places. So this is an additional budget allocation.
Because I was
Sure.
going to end by
Not
saying that
necessarily
I'm
for
praying and hoping that a chunk of it doesn't end up in what they call the training and
Capacity building.
because it's always
Training
become like
and-
some elephant where that gets stuffed with. Because look, George, over the years for like, you can't say yonks.
Yeah,
yonks,
exactly.
That's the same ministry and its personnel under the agencies consistently. Or of course, maybe people are retiring, they are getting new ones.
Yeah.
Consistently undergo training, and capacity building. You know, at what point are we going to say that? And we are also thinking that already qualified people might have been employed already, and also them have also taken a certain special or initiative to enhance and build themselves, because I mean they have to grow professionally. If you don't grow, you don't add value. You've got to go to yourself. You've got to go. At what point are we going to say that? Because already this 100 million addition to the ministry to take care of 3 different areas, it's small.
It is.
14 different agencies, because
Yes.
the
Yep.
ministry is not just tourism. It's tourism, arts, culture.
Yes.
Culture already for subsequent
Creative
years
art.
had been suffering. You've got the Center for Natural Culture, which is understaffed and
Yep.
what's it called for some time.
And the resourced.
Now you're going to have the culture, the creative art agency supposed to be coming
And the
in with
film
all the
authority.
staffing issues that it comes with.
Yep.
Then you have the GTA, GTDC, everybody else. You know, George. So already when you look at it, it's small. And then now you're going to actually even take a chunk of it to go and do capacity, this same capacity building and everything. You know, I think that we need to get to a point where this year we say, okay, this year, Charlie, capacity building, yeah. Now let's focus on the actual things that
Yes.
will enable
Yes.
value for these different areas.
Sure.
That's all.
You see,
You know, because it's small already.
So I was
Good
talking
point,
about
Sadiq.
projects.
Yes, Jones.
You know, projects. We are having some. If you look at the act, there's an LI on the size and attraction, LI 2239, 2239. It has been passed, so it really mandates us to regulate the size and attraction. Of course, we have some collaborations with the World Bank and other agencies, and part of our allocations, we are developing the site. If you look at Kintampo 2019, when the incident happened, now we are there, Kintampo. We've been to Gushegu. If you go to Tetekwashi, if you go to Nzulezu, and all other places. So we are uplifting the sites. We've taken the project 33 iconic sites. So if you go to each region, 3 sites are being developed. Then it will, it will go on from there. Eventually, all the sites and attractions are going to be developed into a standard place. Tafi Atome and the rest. We have the receptive facilities and the training, tour guides training and all that. 2 days ago, I think a training started in the Western and Central region. French Embassy is helping us to do that. So all these things come into play. You made mention of the buses. One bus and a bone shaker was also outdoored. Of course, we want to initiate what we call the city tour. If you go to Asia and other places, you are welcome with city tours. So, for instance, Greater Accra, we started. Eventually, it's going to be replicated in all the regions. So, for instance, when you go to Kumasi, you have an experience on a tourist bus for city tour. And then we are also implementing the bone shaker, adventure. So, somewhere next week, God willing, we'll take off with the city tours,
With the
Accra
city
City
tours,
Tour.
yeah.
We want to
Very
start
good-
with
very
the
good
media.
initiatives.
We are going to do a media tour first, and then we get on board. Of course.
You mentioned
the city
okay.
store, the buses,
Yeah.
the bus and the open top,
open
double
top.
decker bus,
Sure.
and the bone shaker.
Sure.
Are you going to have special lanes for them
Yes, we are going
for
to
that
have.
tour? Because, for instance, if you want to tour Accra and they're going to be in traffic from,
Yeah.
what do you call it?
Yes.
Mokola.
Maybe
Nima.
Legon, Nima. Okay, that's fine.
And the person is going to be sitting in traffic in the sun in a double-decker bus, on a double-decker bus,
Yes.
and does not have,
Yes.
easy access through
Yes.
the traffic. It will be hectic.
Yes,
Very
absolutely.
difficult.
But
thing
but,
to
but
do.
Uncle
So
Ken,
we're
some
working
of
on the
Very
routes,
cool.
Gentlemen, hold
turning
on.
and the routes, and then we're also looking whether we can get some escort or something,
Jones.
depending on the traffic. So we'll be.
Don't worry about it. Some
Yeah.
of our foreigners, the white people, when they come, they want to
They
tan.
want to turn.
Yeah, so you maybe in a shop. When they go back and they're, where are you coming from? What happened? Oh, I went to Africa. I went to
But
Ghana.
this
you
are,
know.
these
That
are,
is
these are
another-
good. I mean, regardless, I think it's they are good initiatives.
They are all good,
Yes.
but
And you can
quickly.
mention the
Yeah.
social media people.
Yeah.
There's
they
one
are doing
gentleman.
well. Yeah.
There's one gentleman, Solomon Meza.
Yeah.
He's also called Black Ocean.
Yeah.
He's focused on promoting tourism in the Volta region. Trust me, by following him within the last few weeks or days, I've had a very strong urge to visit Kita and its beaches through Solomon Meza's promotion. So I think that any special program to amplify them or sort of shine the spotlight on these guys privately doing their bit to drive local tourism will will be good.
Yes, we found one lady too, Akusia Shelley, very well, doing very well. So we engage her. We are trying to bring on board all those individuals that are helping to promote
Jones, but you
market and
see
promote
that is
Look
where
at that.
no,
Very,
hold
very
on.
important.
You
A very
see,
good program.
this
It will be a very
ties
good
in
program.
exactly with what I was saying earlier, Uncle Ken. You understand? You're picking people from social media, but there are those of us traditional media. And look, I get passionate about this. Not that I am
Don't-
speaking because
Not
I'm sitting
worry
on this
at all.
platform.
That
Hold
is why we are
on,
all
Jones.
working
Hold
for all
on,
the
Jones.
country,
Hold on.
And we need
Oh,
your
George,
platform
that's a
to
done
champion
deal.
the
After
agenda.
today,
You see, because
after
it's
today, it's a done
So
deal.
of
Don't
course
worry.
the 100 million was for a different thing. The story went that way, fine. But of course, once we've started the
because
campaign,
you see, on the 6th of
let's
March,
work
this
together as a
company
team.
spent a lot of money
Sky
to
Fire.
carry
promote
crew
Ghana.
to go to Cape Coast.
you heard him. He said, Shika Ifa. The money is not enough.
It doesn't matter.
But we'll try. We'll
You
work
have
together.
to. Now, the other thing is this. You mentioned branding.
Sure.
What kind of branding do you do? Because you see, a friend of mine came in from the UK some time back,
Yeah.
and I encouraged him to visit Cape Coast, Takrady, and all those places. And when he came back, he raised a very important point. He said, George, the Cape Coast and Elmina castles are beautiful, and the tour guides there are so great. They give you so much history. But how come you drive all the way from Accra to that place? You don't even see one billboard that is telling you that, oh, in this number of kilometers, you are going to see the
Yes.
blah, blah, blah. Nothing. Absolutely. So what kind of branding
That
and
is a very
visibility?
good one, George. You realize that hitherto the money wasn't enough. The money wasn't enough. And as part of this project, we've started with these signages, putting up signages, kilometers, and all that. I think there's one here. If you look at the Jubilee House,
Yeah.
so sign, directional signs. Yeah, we started doing that, working on mounting them, and then telling you have 40 kilometers to Tafi Atome. You are entering so and so town and all that.
For us,
So
it's not-
facts.
it is not
Yes,
even just
it's a
about-
gradual process.
Anyway, Gideon, what's your take on this 100 million? I mean, for someone who is a player in the space.
George is 300.
I think the 100 million have
Oh
been
my
cla-
God.
it has been
Clarified.
clarified.
It's been
Yes.
clarified, but for a
Yes,
player in the
George.
space, how do you think it's going to, be beneficial to? No, Jones, it's the taxpayers' money, so
but
we
it-
need to
yeah,
let the
that's why-
taxpayer
yes. So
understand.
Now you understand.
Oh,
it.
me, I
It's
do.
Not
I do.
necessarily
So-
for domestic. No,
We understand.
It is an
It's for
additional
capacity
market
building.
and even my brother, as Sadid has agreed, it is still.
That is for capacity building.
The scientists will say infinitesimal. Very
Let me
small.
go. Let me bring Jones into the convo. Yes, Jones.
No, Gideon.
Sorry, Gideon.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so
Yeah.
yes. So I think that this domestic tourism launch is very good.
Yeah.
Because let's forget about the money. You see, like John said, the money, there's no earmark money for domestic tourism called 100 million. And maybe I wish there is, so that even the project has some money that is allocated, so that we can take care of what George was saying.
Oh, yeah.
That maybe out of the 100 million, there is 1 million for media engagement, and so programs like this could be supported, not being done here. But we will not talk about domestic tourism sitting in this air-conditioned room, but we will talk about domestic tourism, maybe sitting somewhere in a Kita beach, like you say, and then the cameraman is showing around live,
Exactly.
as we are on live on social media. Are you getting? Then it will have more impact. And
Joy did
You want to
one
announce
already
what
today,
we are planning? Eh? You want to go ahead and announce it.
Showbiz made Cape Coast Beach already.
yeah, so
No, Cape Coast Castle. What Gideon is trying to say is that he's been arranging with Philip Nye so that Showbiz A to Z in the month of July will come to you live from the Maha Beach Resort in the Western region.
yeah, so
Actually, that's
yes,
so.
and I'm very sure that after this conversation, Jones from GTA will throw his support and see, and that is what I think the media, like you said, play very important role. Let me you mentioned Mahabi last year, just after the COVID, when the tourist site was open, we partnered with Joy FM, and we did just about 2 weeks promo, and you can ask Philip, we had how many buses? 3 buses.
3,
Whoa.
3 buses to go to the Western region. You call it Western Escape.
Yeah, I remember.
And do you know something about when the media does a drive? It's not just about the number of people that go at that particular time. It is the rippling effects.
Yeah.
So even though we did about 3 buses to the western region, we realized that a lot of people had called that the date is not favorable. They want to go the next date, and so every month we didn't
You
stop.
needed to continue.
Yes,
Yeah.
we had to do it,
Yeah.
and I mean that is how maybe Maha Beach have been very popular now.
Yeah.
A lot of people are calling; they want to go there, and then we are even thinking of doing a second trip where we do the showbiz like this discussion there
Live from
and
there.
stream live from there, and that is what we are saying, that still it comes with money. I mean it's. I mean, Joy have been doing this as social corporates, but how long can they every day be corporate social
Social
responsibility?
responsibility, yeah.
There should be something be paid for.
Yeah.
During the Ghana match you did from Cape Coast,
Yeah.
we Adansi Travels had to come
Exactly,
and
and support
sponsor
it, yeah.
the live streaming
Exactly.
from Cape Coast.
Exactly.
Yes, because we also felt that it is good to give back to. But if there's a proper plan, like it's been launched, and there's budget for it, then there could be budget allocation for some of these programs.
Exactly.
So that if the budget is to do such a program is let's say 100,000 cities, Joy will say, okay, I'm absorbing 50.
Exactly.
And then the budget allocation will come and support the 50,
Exactly.
and it will take care of it.
That'll be
So
good.
I agree with you that if they leave the media out, it's going to be very hectic. We can develop all the places, and if people are not visiting, how do you get your revenue back? It's the media that also drive, and the media cannot work only on corporate social responsibility. There should be a proper plan that compensates for the effort, and the little they bring will also drive it.
Yeah,
Jones, just before you
traditional
come in
media
quickly.
is very important.
Yes,
so
exactly.
we cannot remove the old landmark.
Exactly.
which is the
Very
media.
important. Have you ever heard about Sky Marshals?
Sky Marshals.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it crossed my mind.
You know, we've been
Yeah,
speaking
the
about
Foley.
what Jay
The
Foley
Jay
and his
Foley show, yeah.
people
Jay
have been
Foley,
doing,
yeah.
and that is an individual effort,
Yeah.
and it's media related. So some of
Yeah.
all these things ought to be supported. But it's good
Sky
we're
Marshals
speaking
is
about
like, it's like present day Sincerely Yours.
exactly.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well,
so
in
it
a way,
travels around
you know,
and-
they travel around, show
Sky
a lot of tourism and adventurous sites and stuff that we have in Ghana. But Jones, there is a particular problem that we cannot run away from. And it's sad that every time we speak about tourism in Ghana, be it domestic or whatever, it keeps coming back. Gideon has mentioned one, which is cost.
Sure.
The other one is access, routes to the tourism
Yes,
site.
yes.
The access. The third one, which for me is the worst,
Sanitation.
sanitation, the washrooms. And then, of course, the last one, Gideon also sort of touched on that one a bit. People taking advantage. I've mentioned it before here that I've seen somebody's camera snatched from the back of the Cape Coast Castle before.
Yeah.
You know, they just snatched it,
Yeah.
right? You know, there were these guys who were smoking weed at the back there.
Yes.
They just snatched it and ran away. A white lady's camera. They just stood just like that. You know. What are you doing about some of these things?
Sure. So thank you very much. In fact, there will be few hitches and here and there, just as you mentioned.
Yeah.
But this one is a conscious effort, like I mentioned. When we launched the drive, we've come together. Ghana Health Service is there, Roads and Transport is there, Ministry of Finance is there, Foreign Affairs. We are collaborating because if you look at tourism, it is a multifaceted, activity.
Yeah.
We need to include a lot of sectors. Agric even comes on board. So we've collaborated at the top there. The routes and all those things are going to be put in place very well. And then also, you made mention of costs.
Yeah.
Of course, we had a consultative meeting with the stakeholders, GATO, Ghana Tourism Federation,
Yeah.
and its umbrella bodies.
Yeah.
Yes, under them. Gideon, were you at
Yeah, I was there.
at Abokobi, and they've agreed that consciously they are going to give discounts. It was out of that Gideon and his team has started that 8 something.
Yeah.
So they are all parts. We have tour organizing groups, giving them discounts between 30 and 50%. Even Ghana Hoteliers Association and Car Renters Association. So they have consciously come to understand that despite the fact that we are not in normal times, we need to be very, very sensitive.
No, but Jonas,
Jonas,
Jonas, this is not
let's
this
let's
is not a
sugarcoat
normal
it.
times
Let's
conversation.
not sugarcoat it.
Yes, exactly.
Because-
We shouldn't. It's not a
because-
normal times conversation.
Because
Gideon, go ahead. Yeah.
I was there. We
Yes.
had a discussion.
Yes.
I wouldn't say it's implementation has been
Yes.
done
Yes,
because
that's fine.
we've had that discussion. Just recently, we had a request for 50 people coming from Nigeria, and then that's if we can host them. So they want to spend about 6 days in Ghana. And if I tell you the costs that the hotels are giving, we send a quotation, and they are like, "Oh, this is too high." We went back to the hotels. It's been back and forth, and the eventually, if they don't reduce, what would they do? They'll
go
fly
to another
them
country.
to other places.
Other
Go and have
country.
their
Yes,
their
exactly.
conference.
Yes.
But can you imagine the impact of 50 people in Ghana for 5 days from Nigeria?
Sure.
It will cut across all sectors of the economy.
Yeah.
You get it. So
Sure.
I agree with you. We've had a discussion.
Yes.
What I want to add is that I really wish the hotels, the the bus coach
Yes.
owners, really buy into this.
Yes.
So that it doesn't remain talk,
Talk,
but
yes.
they really offer discounts for this drive.
Yeah.
Because I know how GTA is pushing
Yes.
for this to happen.
Yeah.
So this is a platform to remind them
Yes.
that people really are willing to travel, and we want them to agree to give discounts so that costs will come down.
In fact, I'm just reading a tweet that says that. I mean, I think that Joy FM tweeted, it's important that we encourage local travel. And somebody says, with which money? Traveling is expensive in Ghana here.
Gideon, on the average, I mean, what's the cheapest anybody can travel to Dubai for? Say 4 or 5 days on the average.
4 or 5 days, you can do like, let's say, about 6,000.
So that's 6,000
the,
cedis.
The trip you were on, the people pay 5,900. That trip you were on. Yes, that's what they paid for everything.
1,900 cities.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
that's-
I was on
that's like-
business class, so that's why.
Yeah, you didn't see them.
that's-
you were on
that's
business
just-
class, but I'm talking
yeah,
about
yeah,
no,
Jay.
he was on business class.
I'm announcing my presence in the studio.
A business class arrival.
And that cost is
Yeah.
covering flight, hotel for
Yeah.
6 nights. For
Flight and
tours,
hotel for 6
for
nights.
everything. And you can't spend that money.
Okay.
In
No, hold
any-
on. Don't go far. So it's 6,000 cities.
Yes, it was
average,
6,000
and that includes flight, accommodation, visa on arrival,
Visa,
and
not on
your
arrival,
and
visa.
dough cruise meal,
Yeah,
and some of the
those-
meal and
those
some of those
things,
things, the dinner on the desert and all those things. What's the dollar rate right about now?
Let's say
5.78.
Do you people know that there's a place in Ghana that to visit one night is $1,200? One night.
Is it a safari place?
Yes.
Beautiful place.
Very beautiful place.
But George, I mean,
No, you can't compare that way, but because it's
No.
it's-
We are not comparing.
but he's
because you are
making a-
taking the
We are not comparing. We are not comparing. I'm responding to the tweet Sadiq read
expensive.
that tourism
Problem.
is expensive in Ghana. Now, the next point I was going to make is that don't you think, because you mentioned capacity building, you've mentioned, sometimes we also need to educate the tourists.
Sure.
You understand?
Sure.
Because these are arguments that have been made out there that, but it's cheaper to go to Dubai than to go to Safari. And Gideon, why were you going to say we can't compare that way? Because I'm sure there's a reason that the costs is like
Yes,
that. Can you help
because
us understand that?
Because you brought in safari.
Yes.
It's in even in Dubai. There's also places that cost $1,005.
Very good.
Yeah.
$10,000.
Very
a
good.
night.
Very
so
good.
that's why I say you can't compare that way.
Very good.
But if you are making the comparison, you can take maybe a 3-star hotel that's in Dubai and then a 3-star hotel in Ghana. Then you can have a proper comparison and then you can appreciate the cost. But we don't want, since today is about domestic tourism, we don't really want people to feel that unless you have that huge sums of money that you can travel. There are packages that suit the pocket of everybody. So as long as you are not yet there yet to have like that hallmark that Ghana is cheap, there are still packages that suit the pocket of everybody. For instance, if let's say you have 500 cities and then you say you want to use the 500 cities for 2-night package in Ghana, there are places you can really also spend the 500 cities for maybe a 200 cities a night accommodation.
With some compelling experience, like it would be a very good experiential, whatever.
Experience is very relative.
But
Okay,
Gideon, I beg to differ. You see,
I-
let me tell you why I beg to differ.
Because it's important to stress the
The,
experience.
the
Exactly. Hold on. Let me tell you why I'm begging to differ. Nobody is sitting here saying that a place is either too expensive or too cheap, because at the end of the day, you had people on the same flight with Jesse. He decided to pay a bit more just so he could fly business class. That's fine. That goes into experience. It is the kind of experience he wanted. So definitely experience would come at a certain cost. The point I am making is that there are people in this country, and I might even be a victim, who consistently make it look like domestic tourism is too expensive. You understand? Maybe it is true. Maybe it is not. So, yes, Jesse, you can come in.
I know it's not my time to speak yet, but or let's always discuss pricing in the context of cost of living. And once you discuss it in that context, you would realize that find out like how much is a dollar in Dubai,
Exactly.
and how much is a dollar in Ghana. So if you evaluate the general cost of living or cost of doing business in Dubai, and those layers of the cost affect how much you would pay in a hotel in Dubai. Now, the cost of doing business in Ghana is expensive. So it has nothing to do with tourism per se. Now, because our electricity is expensive, our wages might seem high, transportation might be a little bit expensive, water might be expensive.
It affects them.
And then generally also, if you compare us to Dubai, it might also be unfair because the Dubai economy is also well subsidized and supported by the government in a very good way. So which is why you asked the question as to where the 100 million is going. If the 100 million was going to subsidize the sector, then you would have seen the payoff going down. Exactly. So it's difficult to pin this part of the conversation only to the tourism sector per se, because generally cost of living in Ghana is actually high.
Because
yes,
just and that was exactly
and so it won't be the fault of the Aqua Safari or the
very
Novotels and things like that. It's the cost of doing business in Ghana.
In Ghana,
yes.
that is exactly where I was headed, and I was going to come back to Jones. You understand? Because in reality, like Jesse rightly said, so we cannot run away from the fact that it is expensive. But it is not the fault of Destination A that they are charging this amount. Neither is the fault of Destination B that they are charging this amount. Everybody have their cost elements, and the costings are different. They are affected by so many factors. But like he rightly said, if that 100 million, for instance, was going to mitigate, or you said if Hotel A,
George,
no,
you are still interested in the 100 million.
you see, because you see, there's one aspect that in marketing communications, there's something they call share of throat, right? Share of throat, and share of wine, share of everything. So, like it or yes, Jones, Uncle Ken, let me. So, like it or yes, you are competing with Dubai.
Yeah.
Is that not a fact?
No, you see, it's
Actually,
worse than that.
It's worse than that.
Because
so that isn't...
the consumer has...
gentlemen, one voice. Your mics are...
The consumer has let's say 100 cedis in his pocket.
Yeah.
I want to buy airtime, pay school fees, watch Netflix, travel, go buy Kiliwili, and save some for entertainment. And therefore, what's a share of pocket?
Exactly.
So that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
So in view of that, if he needs to make a decision as to where to travel to, considerations must be very clear.
Very clear.
So the point you're making is super valid, that we're not just competing with Dubai per se. We're competing with anything I will spend my money on.
Exactly.
Which is why, for me, I wasn't here in the very beginning, but we also needed to understand the mind of the consumer in the time in which we are, to afford or to buy into tourism as a product. And I'm sure that so long as the tourism authority has started, we will get to a point where we will know whether the way to drive tourism pricing down is a capital injection that might do ABC, and therefore let's do a capital injection into, say, the hotel sector or the transportation sector or anything else. And for me, that might be how to drive the value down. But then again, I might be jumping the gun because I haven't listened to the show throughout. So forgive me.
No.
Yes. I mean, to add on to what Jesse.
Yes, Sadiq.
Maybe to add on to what Jesse said, maybe it's time for us to really feel the proper benefit of having our sector minister at cabinet level, for instance, where everybody sits, where beside the budgets that's allocated, at that level where the finance minister and other persons are there, he could really drive a certain decision to incentivize or find a way to, if there's any level of some of the statutory payment that is probably adding up to the cost, could be really looked at for them as a way of encouraging it. If it's a special policy from a government level, maybe it could be one of the ways beyond the marketing, because other than that, we could just be spending in a million marketing and amplifying something that will not working, because a number of other things may not have been considered. But
Let me open the phone lines so that, because this looks like a lot of people are sending messages. It looks like the public is pretty interested in this one. So it's 0302216541, and you can send your messages on 05511119997. Yes, Jesse, you wanted to come in.
So again,
Then I'll go to Uncle Ken quickly right after
for
you.
my education,
Yeah.
the Obatampa campaign, is it Obatampa?
Yes. Which one?
The Obatampa case,
Yes,
right?
yes.
It's part of the government mitigation drive for the country.
Yeah.
It's coming post-COVID.
Yeah.
So I think, with all due respect, and I listened to Jonas, and I agree to what he said, but where I disagree with him and the policymakers is to think that that budget should also go to capacity build an individual, when the budget is supposed to help propel the sector. I think there's a lack. Okay, let me be very careful. I think it lacks something a little bit, because if it's supposed to be a boost for the sector, to uplift the sector, then training and capacity building, which we did last year, we haven't seen the benefit of it yet because of COVID. And we trained a lot of them in maybe Harvard, University of Ghana Business School, in-house training. They've been through the mill, and we've traveled to Kenya to go and see what they're doing. So if we're doing a tourism injection to uplift the sector, the question that the finance ministry would ask is this: that if I put $1 extra on the budget, what would I get in return? It's not to put Jesse in Harvard to go and understand how to do ABCD. It's to say to Jesse, you work at the ministry. I am bringing $1. Where should I put the dollar to stimulate growth?
Exactly.
Then Jesse says, give it to the hoteliers. Let's see whether we can drive hotel costs by 10% down. Let's engage. Once we take that box, move to the next side. Look, some few years ago, you remember the airline industry was able to launch packages to about 250 cents or 300 cents or so.
Yeah.
How do we get that conversation back?
Exactly.
What incentives do we give? So for me, it would have been great if we spoke about those things instead of me hearing I want to do capacity building. It feels like I can't drama.
And Jesse, I agree, and that was exactly the point I was trying to make earlier.
One of those things. I'm not saying that.
Jones, yes.
No, I get it.
We have a phone call.
I raised the issue of
No,
projects.
but it should tell you how people have gotten so tired.
Sadiq, hold a thought. Let me go to the phone line and see who we have here. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yes,
Good
sir.
afternoon.
Good afternoon. Name and where you calling us from?
Yeah, my name is Philip, calling from Tema. Gideon, hi.
Yes, Gideon response. Philip, go ahead.
Thanks for the program, great program. I think Gideon is a star. Domestic tourism is very, very high. You go to places in even Voltari for 4 or 5 days, and you are paying the same 5,900 that Gideon would have probably take you to Dubai. So I think that your program should actually promote and then sensitize these guys to actually come down. Whilst in Dubai, you are even taking plane. Okay, and we are even spending probably better hotels than probably here. So we should actually look at that. Some of us love just traveling around, but domestically, I think it's just on the high side.
Yes, I couldn't agree with you more. Thank you very much. And Jesse, Sadiq, was it you who was on the floor?
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
And I was saying that, for some of these hotels and venues and everything, some of them are properly capitalized, right?
Yeah.
And so some of them do not necessarily need a part of this, say, 100 million, for instance.
Sure.
But a special directive, for instance, to make it easier for them in setting up and all of those things could bring the cost down, and so maybe it should be looked at again.
Yeah.
Regardless, we're not saying that the initiative to drive domestic tourism is bad. It's a very good one.
Yeah.
The idea,
No,
the
it's
ideas,
perfect.
the
It's perfect.
actions, and
It
the
is
things that has
perfect.
been done.
Yeah.
I think it's a very good one.
Yeah.
What needs to be factored in is that they need to think about it in 360 and see which other things because then we're all coming to terms with the fact that we're agreeing that as much as these are all very good, it's still very expensive. And if people really have the disposable income, they'll give it to Gideon for a Dubai or Kenya trip than to have to spend.
Sadiq, you said something very important. Gideon, when people approach you, where do they like to visit the most? All your experience, where have people wanted to visit the most?
Good question.
All right. So I think that
Be honest and blunt.
No.
Where? Yeah.
Honestly, is Dubai.
Okay.
All
right.
Yeah. No, but let me add to it.
Jones, you want to? Oh, you want to add to it?
George, I beg you.
Just hold on. Let's hear from Jones first. No, Gideon is okay. Gideon is okay. Don't worry. It's
You
okay.
see- no, let
Don't
me
explain
make a very
Gideon.
important
We don't know. Gideon, we don't need an explanation.
George,
No, just hold on. Let's hear Jones. Jones. Okay, you want Jesse to
so
go first.
I wanted to dedicate the next 5 minutes in setting a WAEC question.
Okay, go ahead.
The entire tourism conversation, the entire tourism conversation, right? Sometimes we should simplify it a little bit. And let's speak to the mind of the consumer. So you ask Gideon,
Yeah.
where do people want to go to? He said Dubai.
Yeah.
I want to follow up with a question, then I'll go to Jonas.
Okay.
Gideon, what are 3 reasons why people want to go to Dubai? Don't think too much. 3.
You've gone too quickly. That was going to
Oh,
be the next.
Gideon, what are 3 reasons why people want to go to Dubai?
I hope Philip, my YS certificate will be ready. That's how I finish.
Make it 4 if you want. Yeah.
Okay, so I would say 1. I think marketability. It's readily come to mind to the people. when
So
they
they've
want to
sold
travel.
Dubai well.
They sold Dubai. Okay, good.
Yes, so
Good.
the
Number 2.
people are using it for their advert.
Oh,
and-
don't explain.
Don't worry. Media. Yeah.
Number 2.
Number 2 is also affordability.
Cost.
Number 3.
It's very affordable.
Yeah.
Number 3 is also ease in visa.
Okay.
Okay, good.
It's easy in visa.
Good.
They easily get their visa
Okay.
done.
Good.
And then number 4.
You've added extra.
Okay.
No, you should go. Go. Number 4.
Yes. Number 4.
No, also I think accessibility with the flight. A lot of the flight in
Okay.
Ghana
Okay.
are also going there.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Good. So I love the things you have said.
Yeah.
So we've launched
Domestic
Tour
tourism.
Ghana.
Drive,
and we're starting with Tour Accra.
Yeah.
And when I was coming, I heard all of you say that the importance of the Tour Accra. It's very great. And we're talking about bone shaker and driving around and things like that. So let me ask Jonas. So I'm from Kenya, right? And I've landed in Accra. And I see the Tour Accra. In simple terms, why should I tour Accra? Because I remember George had asked you about packaging and then branding and selling it. So why should anybody tour Accra?
Okay, thank you very much. It's a city tour we are embarking on. Eventually, to be replicated in all the regions. So we are starting from somewhere. Accra also has a lot of history that you can learn. So it is important to tour Accra. I remember I traveled to Tokyo. I lived in Tokyo. And within 24 hours, I have gone through Tokyo. I had a city tour. So I think it is also important to start with that. Eventually, we are going to have city tours like Gideon mentioned. You don't necessarily have to move from Accra and go to Tamale. Where you are, you need to know your own, the places that interesting places, attractive places. So that is what we are.
Okay, so Jonas, so in
Jones.
lies, so Jones, so
Sure.
in lies my issue.
Sure.
So selling Accra should be more comprehensive than this.
Sure.
So let's tour Accra because Accra gives you the very best of food in Jamestown, as an example.
Maybe, yeah.
Let's tour Accra because Accra has some of the finest women and men, as an example. Let's tour Accra because Accra has some of the most beautiful
Yeah.
buildings that you might actually have.
Yes.
Let's tour Accra because Accra gives you the castles and forts that gives ultimately.
Yeah.
So for me, the launch of the tour Accra in the city, the most significant thing that I saw
Yes.
online was the bus. And I am thinking, even though that is great, and if I mark you on that, right, I would mark you, say, 70% because it's super great. But the thing is, the bus for what?
Yeah, for the places that you've mentioned.
Which
So that is
places?
what we are talking about.
So again, so it's taking me back to the point that if we need to drive domestic tourism, right,
Yeah.
George, we need a hook for Accra. What's the hook for Accra?
Yeah.
Now, I love it when Sadiq says that he wants to go to Kita Beach, and he was very clear that if I go to Volta Beach, I'm going to Kita Beach. So for me, part of the domestic tourism is to identify what are the hot spots that we have in each sector.
Yes.
And I'm talking too much, right?
No, wrap up. Don't worry,
And my view is that instead of probably trying to do a top-bottom approach, maybe we should have done like a bottom-up approach, right? So if I go to Nzima, I should be able to launch a campaign in Nzima to say Tour Nzima. So that's launched at the district, or it's launched on the ground itself. Tour Tamale. Then that's launched in Tamale, owned by the district, owned by the locals, so that the entire bus branding is localized with their imagery. If I go to say Bole as an example, there's a way that people look and the way they behave, so that the local radio stations on the ground understand the support they're giving to the campaign.
Sure.
So you say that the 100 million that I'm allocating to this project as an example, I am splitting the 100 million across these regions. If I go to BA and they feel that Yam Festival, or they feel that this is a language they want, they want to project themselves in a particular way, they should do that. So I feel that the top approach is good. So instead of probably starting from Accra and saying let's move across the levels, why can't we start at the district level on the ground and have the locals themselves own the tourism and drive it, so that it culminates in the big level in Accra? In that instance, I would have felt the language, the people, the food. It's owned on the ground, not from the Independence Square.
Proper way of making use of, you know how when you go to various districts, they have district electoral officer, district health officer,
Yes.
municipal health
Yes.
officer. Proper use of
Then Gideon can tap into it and tour us all
of
around.
a district tourism officer or something like that.
Let me
I
hold
agree
on.
with you.
Let me bring
And-
Uncle Ken into
Okay,
our
that's
conversation. Uncle Ken, are you with us?
Yes.
Great.
Why would I be here?
It's because you've been quiet for a while. I can see you are following the conversations. I mean,
Yes.
Yes.
I'm learning from the persons who know more about tourism. But you know, it looks like we are broadening this matter because I've been looking for the launch that took place,
yes.
which is what has necessitated
This conversation, yeah.
Okay. Now, when I look at that launch, let me read you something. It says, the president is confident that the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture and the Ghana Tourism Authority will achieve the targets of improving tourism through this new campaign. The domestic tourism program, which was launched, targets increasing domestic arrivals to 600,000 by 2022 and to 1 million.
Uncle Ken, I'm going to have to pause you for a second. I need to wrap up on television. Let me say special thanks for our viewers, for joining us on Joy Prime. But the show is continuing right here on Joy 99.7 FM. God willing, we're back next week. It's going to be same time, right after the midday news. Showbiz A to Z takes off. Thank you very much for being a part of the show. But keep listening to us and watching us on Facebook at Joy 99.7 #Showbiz A to Z, and of course online at myjoyonline.com and on Joy 99.7 FM. Showbiz A to Z continues. Thank you very much, Uncle Ken. Yes, please proceed.
I was saying that it stated that the targets were to increase domestic arrivals to 600,000 by 2022 and increase domestic arrivals to 1 million by 2024.
Yep.
Now, whilst the West African region target aims at increasing arrivals from 180,000 presently to 400,000 in 2024. So it's a West African campaign that was launched. And the aim for this new campaign is to stimulate the economy as we travel within our own borders to our neighboring ECOWAS countries. The campaign theme is Experience Ghana, Share Ghana. Travel industry stakeholders will be offering discounted packages on tours, accommodations, and transportation to encourage the public to take advantage and explore Ghana. The 18-month-long campaign, now this is my point.
There's a duration.
There is a duration for the campaign. The 18-month-long campaign will also include contests open to the public that will offer exciting prizes as packages. George, when you were mentioning the three most important things for domestic tourism, you mentioned access.
I think it was Gideon who mentioned
No,
that.
it was you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was you. You.
Okay,
and
yeah,
then you
access
mentioned
sanitation. Yeah.
Studied added the sanitation
yes.
at the end.
Yeah.
And what was the other one you mentioned?
I think it was access, sanitation, and security.
Yeah,
There was
cost
road
was-
network
road-
and security. It was
you
all
mentioned
there.
cost.
Road,
Cost.
yeah,
Cost.
yeah.
George mentioned
Cost was very
Now,
important too.
For
yeah.
me, my biggest issue is which are the sites that we will be visiting, and what is the state of the sites?
Of the site, yeah.
The
Yeah.
places
Yeah.
that we will be visiting. What is the state of the places that we will be visiting? Take Abri Gardens, which is a place where almost everybody likes to go. First thing comes up your mind, the students, youngsters, families want to go there for a weekend stroll. But what is the state of the Abri Gardens as we speak today?
Good question, Uncle Ken. Let me go to the phone lines before we come back to the studio. Then we can get a response to the state of Ibri Gardens. Hello.
Hello, George.
Yes, sir. Your name and where you're calling us from. Good afternoon.
My name is Nana Dankwa.
Nana, where
I
you
am a
calling us
tour
from?
guide of 14 years experience.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
part of the National Association of Tour Guides.
Okay.
I have been following this conversation. George, with all due respect, everything that you guys have discussed the studio is very valid.
Thank you.
Let's come to the basics. In our industry, before you draw a package for a client to subscribe to a tour, we have something called pull and push factor. Now, the pull factor is what you have the destination that will attract the person to have the push. And the push factor is the pocket. I remember I was listening to one person talking about cost of living or cost of staff here that is making these industries or those players increasing their fare. Now, before you even promote domestic tourism, if the citizenry are not well situated in terms of their income, whatever you promote, if you build capacity building, it is, excuse my word, it's a waste. Because if you put up a package, the citizenry have to be able to buy that package. For instance, if you push a package for students, and let me chip in. Do you know the reason why, in as much as tourism is picking up after this pandemic, people are not coming? It's because Ghana, we only offer services. People come here because of our warm hospitality. They are tired of the castles. They are tired of the kakums because we don't create and we are not redeveloping these sites and bringing extra tourist attractions. So the people that receive, mind you, Ghana, most of our clients are coming from the States, and they will want to explore based on their roots. One of the reasons why they are coming down is because, okay, I want to go to Ghana because I've done my DNA, so I will want to explore Ghana, Togo, Benin, Senegal, and now the borders are closed. So even if you sell a package for somebody to come to Ghana, and he feels that he's going to visit Kakum, he's going to visit Ebri. There's a man who just said something about Ebri, the state, our accessibility to the road. These are things, and the last time I had a tour of Caribbean people, about 40 people, we explored 14 days, and we have about almost out of the people in the bus, about 45 to 50, they are like 45 to 50 years. And these are people, they sit in a bus for like 8 hours going to the north. And we meaning that even from here to the north, you can't boast of a single washroom from here to north. So there are times you need to park.
Oh dear, too bad. Please call us back if you can. Please call us back. Uncle Ken, you were on the floor before. Yes, you were talking about the state of Ibri.
The sites,
Yeah.
Look at Accra Zoo.
Yes. Oh, that's for Accra Zoo.
That's why I said, where am
That's
I
for
going?
Accra Zoo.
Exactly. The sites are very important.
That's
A
for
lot of
Accra
money
Zoo.
needs to be pumped into the sites to make the visits memorable. Because without that, Jesse's been posing the question, where are we going in Accra?
Let me take a short break. When we come back, then we'll respond to some of all these things. It's Showbiz A to Z. At 5 after 3, we'll be right back. Stay on.
Imagine strutting into the most anticipated wedding of the year. only to see 7 other girls wearing your exact same outfits. Ah!
You are special and one of a kind, and that's why whether it's voice, data or SMS, you get to enjoy personalized offers tailored to your specific needs with MTN just for you. Dial star 141 hash or select your options on the My MTN app to redeem your unique just for you package on Ghana's best mobile network, because we are good together everywhere you go.
It's a new day.
All it takes is one bad event to affect the things that are of value to you. That home you've built, the business that was bred from years of your hard work, or even that dream car that you finally call your own. But with one bank, you can conveniently protect your properties against future financial losses. So be rest assured knowing your properties are protected under Cowbank motto. Homeowners and SME insurance policies. Always stay one step ahead with Cowbank. For more information, call us toll-free on 0800 500 500. You can also visit any of our branches or agents near you to sign up. Take that one right decision today and insure while you bank. Underwritten by Saham Insurers, a member of the Salam Group.
Cowbank, forward together.
Cowbank, forward together.
Nana, Yen Control. Jumia presents Celebrate Your Everyday. It's Jumia's 9th anniversary, and we are celebrating with amazing specials. Enjoy up to 50% discount on your favorite brands from 14th to 27th of June. Jumia Day for you, Ankasa. Download the Jumia app. Jumia, your everyday delivered.
Classical music made by Bach, express God's love. Classical music made by Beethoven, express God's power. Classical music made by Mozart, express God's laughter. Please join Jeffrey every Thursday and Sunday, 12 a.m. to 1:30 a.m. to enjoy the very best of classical music by legendary composers here on Joy 99.7 FM.
If man no day, if Poppy no day, then waiting weekend.
Ever heard that a father's love is not in his words but in his actions? Join us here on Joy FM, your radio for discerning listeners, this Father's Day as we celebrate our ever-loving, ever-present, and ever-hardworking fathers in a Father's Day promo dubbed Dad and I. We're simply sharing some of the fondest moments with our dads. In just half a page, tell us about that moment, exactly what you did, what impact those moments have had on you, and why those moments are your fondest moments, and also share with us your dad's best advice to you. What's more, you will certainly have to share with us dad's favorite meal, because you might just get the opportunity to cook that meal for dad and the whole family come Father's Day, June 20, 2021. There will be loads of giveaways for dad. Send your entries via WhatsApp to 055 1111997 and hashtag Dad and I. Dad and I, reliving those fun moments with dad.
Happy Father's Day to every man where they fight for their responsibility.
It's Showbiz A to Z.
It's Showbiz A to Z. GQ's in the seat.
The station is Joy 99.7 FM. Check with your time. It's 10 gone after 3. 20 minutes we leave in the studio. Handing over to the sports team. Euro 2020 coming up right here on Joy. Oh my goodness, we've been having a beautiful conversation with Gideon Asari, MD at Adansi Travels, and of course Jones Aruna Nelson is Director of Corporate Affairs at the Ghana Tourism Authority. We're also here with Mr. Jesse Amwejepon, CEO of Ifiba Consult, CEO of 3 Music Network, Sadiq Abdullah Abu is also here, and CEO of Ken's Music Mix and Jazz on Joy. Uncle Kennedy is also here with us. My name is George Quaye, show produced by the man Philip Nye. Someone has been putting us on social media. Anita has got us on production spot. We've been discussing tourism in GH, and we're going to see the way forward. Then we'll go into the cinema discussion as well. All right, so gentlemen, let us go into it. Let me see if I can. I was going to take a few messages, but the messages have disappeared. Yes,
George,
yes, Uncle Ken.
Found out about what the 100 million is supposed to be used for.
Oh, okay. Finally. Tell us.
George is happy.
So now this is it. It says, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has announced an additional budgetary allocation of 100 million to the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture to carry out planned programs. According to the President, the amount, which was reserved by the Ministry of Finance, would be used to address key constraints such as sector operator skills revitalization, low quality of tourism assets, targeted transformation of Ghana's tourist beaches, a comprehensive marketing brand, and promotion strategy, and reducing other high costs of doing business in the sector. I mean, this for me is English.
AKA capacity building. AKA capacity building. But you see, me,
let's look
how
for
are
solution.
you going to tangibly assess what the money will be used for with this?
Okay, so it's instructive that we need to add the fact that in the way government is being run in this town, this allocation, the initial allocation for this allocation, trust me, 50 to 60% of it will end up in salaries of the ministry and its agencies.
No, let us not speculate or assume. Let us not speculate.
God.
Let me bring Jones into the conversation. Jones,
The earlier
budgets.
the earlier budgetary allocation will include that.
Yes.
The earlier one would include
No, I'm
what
saying
you're
that put
talking
that
about.
together.
But this supplementary
we are
one,
we are all not in government,
They've
so
told
let
you
us
what
not
they are going to
speculate.
use it
Let us
for.
not
Yo,
speculate.
that's it.
Okay, Jesse, you
But
have one word.
regardless,
Then Gideon. Then Jones will wrap it all up for us. Then we go into the cinema before we get out of here. We have just a few more minutes. Jesse,
Yes, George. So
yes.
I'll make this very, very quick.
Very brief, yes.
So the Ghana Tourism Development Company Limited is one of 11 agencies under the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture.
It is.
The company was
14 of 11.
established
Now it's 14.
to
Jesse.
lead
14.
14.
It's now 14.
So I'm reading from the website. So
Okay,
they need to
that's
change it on the
fine.
website.
That's fine.
It will be
The
updated.
company was established to lead in tourism investments and infrastructure development in the sector. The operative expressions are tourism investment and infrastructure development.
Yes, Yakofasema.
For a long time, we've been speaking about whether the falls have issues, why the gardens are not beautiful enough, and why things are not going very well within the infrastructural framework of our tourism sector. So far, we've been speaking about the operational side. Why are we not visiting? Why are we not visiting? But we are also clear in our mind that for us to visit, the place must look the part. What has this agency been doing?
Jesse.
So
Let me
I want
Sadiq, hold on. Let him land. Let him
so,
land.
so maybe as part of we supporting the government to achieve the objective, which we are all passionate about, I don't know who the CEO is. Okay, so I think it's Kujo Entry, right?
He's been sleeping for like 4
So
years.
maybe
that is
Sadiq,
unfair.
Sadiq,
I think that's
Sadiq,
unfair.
Sadiq.
No, I think
No,
that's
but- no,
unfair.
Sadiq.
No, I think that's
One of
unfair.
the
No,
sleeping.
you may not. You may not know. No.
Sadiq.
You may not know exactly what they are doing,
unfair.
but to say they are sleeping is unfair. Jesse, you land. Jesse, land.
So I'm saying that to support us in terms of domestic tourism, questions: what are their plans to improve infrastructure? How much do they need to drive infrastructural support? What are the challenges? And how do we ensure that if we give them like a 4-year window or a 3-year window to improve domestic tourism infrastructure, they will be able to achieve that? And I'll be keen on tracking what they are doing so far. So this is my biggest concern beyond all the domestic issues that we are having. What's the investment in the infrastructural side?
Okay.
And what has Kujentre and the people been doing so far?
Okay.
How do we make them more effective? I'm done.
Gideon.
So,
Yes, wrapping up on this tourism debate.
Yes. So I think one of the key issues that have come up with the domestic tourism has been the cost.
Yeah.
So, and I think that is where tour operators also come in. So if we want to wait till hotels costs become like Dubai or become other, that means we will not go anywhere. We will need to push. we talk about government incentives and all that. There are countries around the world like Kenya and other places who are having similar issues like Ghana.
Like we are.
Yet hotels are cheaper.
Exactly.
Far cheaper
Yeah.
than here.
Yeah.
It is also because of the focus. These hotels we have in Ghana here run businesses like any other business, which price control in a country. We know that we have free pricing. There's no control. Now, because they've been receiving a lot of business travelers that fill their rooms, and business travelers, we don't make a decision whether to go or not. It's if there's a conference
It
in
is
Accra,
work. You go.
you have to
You
come.
don't have a choice.
And you have to sleep here. You
Yeah.
sleep. Now, the business travelers are not coming. Everything is on Zoom. All the conferences are on Zoom. Now, the only people that can occupy your room is a tourist. But tourist is not a business traveler. He has a choice.
Yeah.
If it's expensive, he has a choice to stay home or to go to Kenya, go to Dubai, or go anywhere.
Or to do Airbnb.
Exactly. Even in Ghana, he has a choice to move within the region. So if you want to come to Kempesky expensive, you can go to Moving Bay. So that is a tourist for you. Now, what you have is also a perishable good. If nobody sleeps in your room, what happens? It's waste resource.
Yeah.
Because you've spent the money already to build a hotel. So whether somebody sleep or not, it doesn't change your cost, that first cost factor.
But they will tell you that if nobody sleeps, they don't spend money on air
No,
conditioning.
it's only small fraction of their costs.
Okay.
So what they have to do is to look at what is my cost of running a room per night. If your variable cost of running a room per night is, let's say, 100 cedis, then it means if you charge me 150, you're already in profit. But if nobody sleeps, the opportunity cost is that you lost 50
lost
cedis.
that, yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
You lost
So
that 50 profit.
with that in mind, then they can give us special rates to promote. And also for those who probably want to explore Ghana but are thinking of too much, of course, what we encourage you to do is to also seek advice from a travel consultant or a tour operator, so that tour operator know how to bargain with these attraction points you want to go. So if you want to go to, let's say, Maha Beach, and you go online, you see that Maha Beach is $200 at night, room night, and you want to spend $400, too much for you. Can you speak to a travel consultant, a travel agent, and say, look, I want to spend $290, it's out of my budget. What we have is that we understand the language of the hotels, and then we are able to negotiate and come out with something that is affordable and enjoy the same facility and spend less. Are you getting it?
I'm getting you.
For instance, we're able to do, like, next week we are doing a trip to, we mentioned Shah Hills.
Yeah.
We are exploring Shah Hills. We are doing Dodi cruise. We are giving line. We are doing so many things for about 480 cities for a whole day's experience and all that.
And that's less than 500 cities.
Less than 500 cities with your transported. But if you are to just hire, just get a small car for a day, they will charge you about 500 before you get your food, before you get all those things, to get a guide for the day to follow you. Are you getting? That's expensive. So you were able to go. But with less than a figure like that, you come to a tour operator and then you're able to go. So it is about time that when we also want to embark on domestic tourism, we look out for tour operators and travel agencies, and then we can get a better deal that will enable us to fit into.
Very good point. Jones, I'm coming to you so that you can also wrap this up for us. But there's a message here on Facebook, on Instagram. This one from Mr. Dumelo says, what are we doing to invest in new tourism sites? We can't keep going to Cape Coast Castle and Vili Falls. Is there a plan to invest in new tourism activities like skydiving, hot air balloons, zip lines, etc.?
And your friend Prosper Kwachi is asking
Yes.
how much of the amount will go into the National Theatre. Interest at play.
Yes, Jones, let's hear you so that we can wrap it up on this one. We have just about 5 minutes to go. You know, hey, Jones, you're taking up.
Yeah, hello.
Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
Thank you. George, it is well. There are new areas of exploration. If you look at the Act, Tourism Act 817/2011, it also mandates us to explore into other areas and regulate it. So issues like scuba diving and all that, that's why the beach regulation also came in. So we are working on the regulations. The regulations
Okay.
are airlines. Yes. So once we finish with the airline, then
Would have
we
some
delve
new
into
tourism.
those places.
Okay, great.
And then I want to take opportunity to thank you so much. You are working hand in hand with us, and the campaign that is running, domestic and regional tourism campaign for this particular month between June and July. And August, we are running campaigns. We say travel, share, and win.
Yeah.
So you move to an attractions, and then you take a picture, you share it on our social media platform, i.e. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and then you stand a chance of winning a ticket, a weekend stay, and then you also have the chance of traveling on air domestically, and,
Okay.
other things comes into play. We also have the Panafest Emancipation coming on. We have a taste of Ghana. There's going to be a gastronomy fair, and then we have this Ghana month, and then December in GH. So we encourage all and sundry to come on board.
We did a documentary recently, and working on that documentary, we discovered that some cinemas have lost up to $2 million due to the closure of cinemas in Ghana.
Sure.
What's happening?
Yes, it affected everybody worldwide, especially the tourism industry was hard hit. If you look at globally, and the fact is this: we are trying to save lives. It is very important. With the expert advice that we have some of our team on the national task force. The virus thrives in environments that somebody will say, why not this church or something? But the fact is this: they said hold on for cinemas and theaters. So there's nothing we could have done. 2020 we had engagements with them before the lockdown
Jones,
came
this
in.
is not fair.
And
you open churches, you open funerals,
I
you
know
open
you'll be going
everywhere.
there,
But I can't run away from going there. And you know it's
So
a
that
fact.
is why
You
I'm saying
open
that
everywhere else.
Open
And
Ganganzo
then
funerals.
you shut the cinemas and people's businesses. Now I hear the cinemas have been semi-open because they have to now apply and ask for a lot of
let me
things.
just explain.
Please
It's not about-
explain.
It's just a simple thing.
What do they need to do?
We wrote to them, we give them directives. There are guidelines for them to go through and then fill a form to our end. We go and do inspection at the place. And then based on that, we, issue them with the license to go ahead and work.
So
that is,
when can it start, really? Or has it started already?
It's
in motion.
We are hopeful that in a few weeks it will be open. That is where we are going to make, how do you call it? We are going to speak publicly to the general public that it has been officially open. We have not made any statement on that as at yet. We are working at the background. So it is well.
Okay, all right. Gentlemen, that's our show. Uncle Ken, yes, please, go ahead.
Oh.
Uncle Ken, go ahead.
No, I heard you say something else. This country, we love cross-fertilization when it comes to laws.
Sheesh, Uncle Ken. Why not your way? Crossing.
Pollination.
And fertilization.
Yes.
When it comes to laws.
To laws,
Do you know why I'm saying this?
No, please. I'm even confused.
I got very confused.
Yeah.
When this release by your outfit, what's it? Jones.
Ghana Tourism Authority.
Ghana Tourism Authority.
Yeah.
That the cinemas were going to be
Open.
And then they issued out certain guidelines.
Yeah.
Under which you'd be granted the license to open.
Yeah.
Now, my issue with that is, not until this pandemic happened, I have never known that the GTA was in charge of cinema halls. Because, you know why? Act 935, which is the National Film and Development Bill, mandates the National Film Authority to also license cinema halls. So I'm asking, which is which? Are the cinema operators supposed to get licensed by both organizations? Because under the law, the Act 935 and objectives of the authority, under L, it says register and license. Under register and license, 1, premises intended for the exhibition of films. And what are these premises?
Yep.
They are the cinema halls. And you also say that they should come and get licenses from you.
It is in our airline.
And because you also have an ally.
Yeah,
that is the
airline
point.
22:38.
I never knew.
But I thought their airline it's more for
It's-
tourist venues,
And
not.
that airline is FBE.
When-
Food,
when-
beverage, and entertainment.
Yes, when did
So
it?
entertainment.
When was it enacted?
2016 there about 2019.
Same time.
2019.
Same time.
Yeah.
If it's
I'm not
2019,
sure
then it
about
was after the
Yes,
film
it was-
act.
Yeah, but I
Yes,
think that what they probably should have done in their case, or in this case, because entertainment is broad
Yes.
and it includes nightclubs and a lot of things, we should probably leave this for the film people because it's more specific.
This is
Because
specific.
in your case, as GTA,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there are different
You have the
entertainment
beaches,
platforms.
you
Why
have
do
the
you focus on the
Why do you
focus
now
on the
come?
basic
That's
one
why I
Yeah.
say
And then
than
you-
the film?
cross-fertilization. is
Uncle Ken,
too
you have a
much.
point.
Unfortunately, National Film Authority is also one of the agencies.
I
under
know
it. So,
that.
Yes,
It's an
yes,
agency.
but I get it. So it
Yes,
looks like
I don't think they need.
yeah.
They don't need
They
an
didn't-
amendment.
yes.
Yeah.
They don't
No,
need
no,
an.
no.
All they need to do
Yeah,
is
it's
just
work hand in
harmonize,
hand. Yeah.
clarify where they
Sure.
say, okay, GTA,
Sure.
entertainment in this case, what we are talking about, it's
I-
A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
National Film Authority, yours is specific on only one.
Correct.
That's right.
Venues for film showings. That's
Yes,
all.
venues, yes. So we
I think you
license
need to
and
meet
regulate-
with them.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
we
that
are-
the
we've been
people can
having-
only get registered by
Cause-
one of
yes,
the
sure,
agencies.
because
And
they
not
would-
the two
because
agencies
they would
under
have-
the same ministry.
They will be in a position to understand the needs of the film industry more
Yeah,
than the GTA.
yes,
You
yes.
know,
All right.
They would have a more distinct approach to it.
Yeah.
And you know, still talking about this cinema, there's a message here says we want cinemas to be open. Because of that, you just throw in anything and expect us to run with it. You announce a supposed reopening of cinemas in a leaked news article on a blog. As if that's not disrespectful enough, you release a set of strict guidelines in a Microsoft Word document making rounds not even on a letterhead. A document that I was able to delete some of the guidelines listed, added my own, and changed the wording of some, and saved on my phone. You can imagine how many more people are able to do this or have done this and also circulated. A document without an authentic originating source. A document that the National Tourism Authority can deny at any time as fake. What did we do as film industry to be treated with so much disdain? Phew. I don't even know how to take the information in circulation. True or false, I do not know. Yeah.
I hope you are getting me. You don't regulate them, and then
That one came from Peter Sedofia. You know Peter Sedofia.
Peter, I was on air with him.
Great.
this morning.
Okay.
And you know, George,
they mentioned the same thing. I clarified to them. They still didn't want
And George, to
understand
compound
that.
their problems,
Well, that is-
the GTA, which
don't
regulates
regulate
venues of
definition.
entertainment and all
Sure,
of those things,
sure.
all this while and Jones is here. Look, there's been nightclubs and pubs and venues that have been operating heavily.
Oh, yes, of
and
course.
publicly,
Of course,
experiencing
of
massive
course.
traffic. All these while
Charlie,
when these cinemas have
we will not go. Jones, there's an appeal for you from my very good friend and Saki at DSTV. He says, look, forget even the hotels. Some of our hotels are doing well. Let us start with the infrastructure. Some of our tourist sites don't look good. And that is one of the reasons people would rather travel outside than visit
that was the
here.
point I also made.
Yes.
That projects are ongoing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we are collaborating. Let's
Yeah.
work hand in hand. And,
All right.
We hope that
Okay.
all is well. It is
Mr.
well.
Chaotic is in the house. Mr. Chaotic. Mr. Chaotic.
George.
You are here to suck us.
Showbiz A to Z. You know how we do it. Yeah, you know, on Saturday afternoon when I'm driving.
Yeah.
I'm listening to you guys.
You have to.
And Sadiq, as I said, they go do capacity training. Now Sadiq said this capacity training. We did train the people, but still, bro. We don't see where the money they go. It's not
because
easy.
it's become like some, you know,
And Uncle Kent
some
is
black
also,
hole.
Uncle Kent, no, you guys you do all. Uncle Kent is saying no, you guys they talk capacity training for too long.
Not too long.
We can't see anything, man.
Yeah. Jesse too can give me plenty statistics. They confuse myself.
But not necessarily for
Yes, I
capacity.
know.
But George, so who and who are playing this afternoon?
It is good to clarify.
Okay.
George, who and who are playing this afternoon?
We have a bit of a complicated schedule this afternoon.
Why? What's happening?
Because we have Euros, Black Stars, and Euros.
Ayeka.
So at 4 p.m., we're bringing you live commentary of the game involving Denmark and Finland.
Okay.
But that's going to be only 45 minutes.
Okay.
Because after that,
You take only the
we
first
have-
half?
Yes, first half.
Okay.
After that, we fly into Cape Coast and bring you the Black Stars versus Ivory Coast.
Okay. Okay.
And after the Black Stars Ivory Coast game, we'll get to see Belgium versus Russia now, because Belgium are one of the favorites of the competition.
Yes.
Yes, we are doing the full match, Belgium versus Russia, full match there.
Okay.
And so that's the program we have for you for this evening. And before we stepped in, we know that Wales drew 1-1 with Switzerland.
Yes.
And so it means that Turkey still have a chance to qualify after all, even though they lost by 3-0. So the Euros have started just the way we wanted it to. And
who do you think is going to win?
It's a tight one. I mean, this year, France look.
Italy.
You see, France look like the side that have everything. But normally, sides that have everything miss one thing.
Exactly.
If they are able to keep the unity in camp, it's great. I didn't like the face-off between Olivier Giroud and Mbappe.
Yeah.
It's not good when players start to challenge each other.
yeah.
If they can channel the energy and make it make it positive from negative, then it works for them. But they have everything in defense, in the midfield, in attack. They have a good tactician. But Italy could be a very dangerous side as well to deal with.
Yeah.
Because if you watched them yesterday, it's because
It was
even the
flawed.
3-0, the 3-0 is because Turkey had a very good defense. They did very well against Italy, but even that was not
Just
enough.
said Germany is going to win.
Yeah, Germany,
Germany has
you
lost
see,
a bit of the-
they've lost a bit of oomph, but
they've
Germany
lost a
is
bit
the
of-
kind of team.
Germany is Germany.
Yeah, Germany is I like that, because you see, you never know what Germany are going to put at you. So you just have to chill.
My
and
money is
allow
on Germany.
because this is what Germany are able to do. They are that
My money is on
tournament
France and
team.
Italy.
Germany are the tournament team when they start.
My money is on Germany.
So it's a start. I mean,
But your money has always been on Germany.
My
With
money
Benz cars,
is on.
BMW.
On that note.
Oh, but George.
Yes.
At what point are you going to fly into Oasis? What's the place located?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday
That's the point we are flying
to
to
you.
Oasis.
Happy birthday, dear Jesse.
It's my birthday.
Charlie, but because it's a birthday, we have to do the chaotic.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm getting emotional.
I'm bringing the sports center back here. Special chaotic birthday to Jesse. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a cake.
Yeah, man. Yes. We're celebrating one of our own. Jesse celebrated his birthday early on in the week. He turned 55. And we do it that way right here on Joy 99.7 FM. And that's been our show. Thank you all very much. Shows produced by the man Philip Nye. And of course, yes. You're saying?
Is this part of the 100 million?
You are using it for cake building.
I swear.
Cake building.
Yes, that's it. God willing, show returns next week. Show was produced by Philip Nye. Anita gave us production support. Someone put us on social media. Thank you all for being a part of the show. My name is George Quaye. God willing, we're back next Saturday. But next time you hear this voice, it's going to be on Monday for another exciting edition of the Late Night Express. And do look out for our documentary on the cinema story. The full version of it is going to show this week. You don't want to miss that. Mapipso Sibidi did a great job there. You should see it. My name is George Quaye. I'm out.
Every filmmaker's dream is to see their final